Hey, everybody, want to welcome you to a special Stranger Things edition of Geek versus Nerd. As always, I am your host, Chuck Hewatts, but I'm joined by my childhood best friend and probably my third childhood best friend because he is a child. I'm going to give it up to my buddy Mike Connors and his son Zeke. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Oh,
Hey Chuck, what's up, man? We're happy to be here. Happy to be
Absolutely.
here finally with the legend, man.
Absolutely. So these are two of the most diehard Stranger Things fans that I know. And because you guys know I was never on the bandwagon of this show, this is kind of a test pilot for us to see if there may be some chemistry there to bring you guys a full in-depth Stranger Things
Yeah,
podcast. But we are talking all things final season part one today,
yeah.
guys. 3 years of waiting for this. Millie Bobby Brown
Oh,
is married with a kid.
with a kid.
Crazy.
Yeah,
It's
we
just
felt every minute of the last 3 years too. I'll tell you what,
so I
it's
want to
been.
start just overall thoughts on part one. And also, do you kind of feel the first three episodes were just filler? Like, especially the second
Yes.
half episodes.
So what you just mentioned is a really valid point, right? Because the beauty, and I think what they had working in their advantage for season five is that there was so much buildup in season four. I felt like it should have been served up on a platter. Season five should have jumped right in, right? And so I found myself at the end of episode one thinking to myself, it was good, not great. It was meh, right? And I thought they did a really good job in season four, and they had a lot to build up. But I think I saw it falling short in season five. I noticed that pretty quickly, in my opinion. A lot of forced filler. Even the script, I found some of the script and dialogue a little lazy for what we've gotten from the Duffer Brothers. Some of the character groupings I was real excited about. Some of the character attitudes I hated. I found some characters that I love unlikable, which that was emotional for me. Right? These are people. They're like our family members.
yeah.
We love these people, and I found myself really now there's a dynamic that's beauty in acting, right? Is
Right.
is sometimes we're supposed to get those emotions and feel that hatred or supreme love or whatever it is, and I think that's a sure sign of a good of good acting or good stage presence or a good show. However, I really disliked some of these people in this season, and like we said before we hopped on, Chuck, I was telling you, I have a bias for Stranger Things, right? I am going to lean love like over
That's why
dislike
you were the
over
first person I reached out to.
right.
I was like, I need to know
It's
what Mike
so
thinks.
so it's a real low bar for me to be really happy and real excited about this show. I will get in a fist fight on the side of the street and definitely two. I would get rid of two of my children in favor of this show.
Zeke, are you on that
So
list, buddy?
Zeke's
Oh,
safe.
I'm not
Zeke's one of the biggest fans. So like I was saying, is that if I found myself being critical or if I found something I didn't like, that's a major flaw for me because
Right.
because it's hard for my dislikes to break their way through my bias, if that makes sense.
Oh,
And we can
absolutely.
dive into a little bit more
Yeah.
and get more granular about what those are, loves and dislikes.
And Zeke, I want to get your side of it because you're a kid. So you're kind of growing up in real time with these characters. So what was it worth the hype for you? Were you happy all around?
Ah,
Oh, that says most already. That's
No, he did. He
the
loved
first
it.
I liked it. The first episode, I just hate how Dustin is being rude to Steve. That's just I don't like it because he used to be the nerd that was like nice,
the
but now
hopeful
he's like
nerd.
the
Yeah.
tough like
Yeah. It's an interesting point because it's a really tough line for them to navigate in this season, right? A couple things. Why do I love it? Well, because the nostalgia. Because when I watch that show, it reminds me of how we looked, what our life looked like growing up, right?
Right.
So I'm able to connect with that even as an adult, and Zeke's actually at that age. But so anyway, little off topic there. What's interesting is that they have to show the emotion. Dustin is hurt, right? He's hurt. He's
Right.
upset.
He lost
And
Eddie.
in real life, yeah, he lost Eddie. This is traumatic. He's dealing with trauma. And we could say the same about Nancy, right? But as a viewer, I have to step back and I have to realize that yes, he's felt some trauma. He's going through it. But like, what are the things that he's doing that are dishonoring the ones that are still alive. Like at the beginning, and they're saying, "Hey, Dustin, just shut up, take off the shirt. Like, let's just fall back and let's just get through it." Like in honor of Eddie, what's the big picture, right? Are we going to pick every little fight along the way? Are we trying to get rid of Vecna?
Right.
Right? Is there a big picture? Can you sacrifice and put your own selfish needs aside for the betterment of the party? And he made a comment about like, that's not who we are, right? But like, I would argue that's not who you are, and that's why you should be trying everything you can do to sacrifice for the bigger picture.
So
You're not the only one that's been hurt,
I just gotta say, with trauma, no one's gonna talk about the fact that Will got like tentacle diddled by Vecna when he was putting the eggs in
literally,
Yeah, like
and rightfully so. I mean, they're all dealing with some level of it, and I think it's important for the actors and for the writers to make sure that that's able to come out on the screen. And maybe they needed to make Dustin a little bit unlikable because it's going to build up for something great in the final 4 episodes. And if that's the case, then fine. I hate the discourse I see online though, where people are like, Steve's being an asshole, and that's just not what I'm seeing. I think
now
Dustin's kind of being
I'm
a
gonna
prick.
tell you something that might make you even angrier. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the fact that these 4 episodes were each a $50 million budget?
It was their biggest, it was their biggest budget by far. They said episode 4, Sorcerer, was logistically their most complicated shoot. Yeah, and we want to talk about some of the high points here. I mean, the VFX, the show, they nailed it. I mean, the Demogorgons looked unbelievable, right? The background, the scenery, the cinematography of it all, it really had motion picture, big money budget. They really stepped up to the plate with it. So I'm really impressed with that. And maybe this is a bigger conversation a little bit down the line, but like Vecna, the redesign, not a huge fan, thought I loved it at first, realized I hate it now. Right. I started sitting in that. Yeah. And Zeke's a big fan of it. And let me tell you why I'm a huge fan of it real quick, Zeke, because I haven't even told you this, but like what I loved about Vecna in season 4 was the demonic, rotting scariness of who he was. And I find him in season 5, right? More like a little like Groot slash, what's his name from the Avengers?
Groot.
No. The robot that shut your mouth. That Tony Stark that kills Jarvis. What was
Ultron?
Ultron.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like an Ultron mixed with Groot.
Oh my God, he does look like Ultron.
So like it was hard for me, and I love to think like he came back armored up, but like they really got away from the demonic death side of it that made him frightening to me. And I no longer, like, if I turned around in a dream and I saw the new Vecna, I'd be like, all right, we're going to fight, bro. You look tough, but like, I'm going to give it all I got. Old Vecna, it's like, holy shit, that's a demon. Right. And he brought a different fear level for me. And so I'm not a huge fan. But it's not a big thing, but all these little things are adding up to me resenting what I've been seeing.
So here's my other thing. Why is Vecna so nice and calm with Holly's visions? She's getting like these peaceful memories, and Will just got rape nightmares.
Total wreck. Go ahead, Steve.
All right, let's set this straight. This is weird. I think Vecna's like the straight up diddler from the 80s. Because this kid is not kid. Vecna is straight up killing teenagers.
Yeah, they also set that up a little strange. And I saw something online where it was like the song that pops in. It's like he's like closing the door. Yeah, it's like she's clapping. It's like, what the hell's going on?
Hey Zeke, Zeke, here's a fun fact that you may not know about me and your dad. We grew up and hung out in a town where there was a famous child serial killer named Louis Lent.
Yeah, Louis Lent. Yeah. So yeah, and that's another, that segues to another point that's hard for me to reconcile right now, and maybe it's just me not understanding, but like, so there's Holly and there's Max in Vecna's mind, but it's really hard for me to understand that. Like, I feel like he should be in their mind creating, like they're knocked out, so he should be in their mind creating this false, beautiful world that they're in. I'm having a hard time understanding how he took their consciousness while they're over here in the spires, and Max is unconscious in Hawkins'
I
shell.
thought it was because the
I have a
Mind
hard time
Flayer
understanding
had
how
them.
he took them into his mind.
I thought the Mind Flayer had them. Once Vecna brings them into the Upside Down, I thought the Mind Flayer takes their consciousness.
Yeah, so like that's and it hasn't been released yet, but all signs are leading to the spires where it looks like it's going to be 12 kids hooked up to that. That seems to be like that's going to be the Mind Flayer inside the Mind Flayer. He's controlling that somehow. So which would then make more sense, in which then Vecna is just inserting himself into their respected minds, which still brings us to the point of how are they then finding each other within different minds. So, but like, this is what I'll tell you is I try not to overthink things, because we're talking about a demon and like, come on, it's fake, right? I let myself enjoy it.
No,
So
but
I
this
try
show
not to
has built up
overthink.
that everything matters.
Yeah,
So it's going to make you
yeah.
overthink.
Right. And they get a lot of flack about like, oh, they're afraid to kill people, and the storyline doesn't match, and like I can argue points against that all day. I can go to trial for that, and I would argue that they're not afraid to kill people, and I think they've done huge character deaths, and I don't think they've shied away from it, and they've brought back Hopper, and they're like that was a cop out, but I think it was really beautiful how they brought Hopper back. I think it really helped progress the storyline, and like imagine what we'd have if Hopper didn't come back. And I think they've noted that they made a mistake, or they didn't like where it was going, and they were clever enough to bring it back into the storyline and make it make sense for me. So I try not to overthink it.
This is a perfect segue for what you were just talking about. I believe the reason why people haven't died and it's been strung out the way it was, I am a firm believer in the campaign theory, meaning that this has all been their Dungeons and Dragons game. And if you've ever played D&D, that's the whole point, is you find yourself in these crazy
really
near-death situations and you somehow just get out of them. Also, with the critical role theory tying into that 11 plus 8 plus 1 equals a 20, which is a critical hit. I think this has all been their game the whole time. So what are your thoughts on that?
Really good. Yeah, they've done a really good job at being kind of clever with that theory. The 11 plus 2, like, or the 11 plus 8. I can subscribe to that. That's clever to me. I don't think that at the end they're going to just be all back in their campaign back in 1983. I hope that's not what it is. I think they're going to be, but what I think they've done is I think they've left that as a possibility on the table, and I think that's clever. I really think that helps build into whatever it's going to be. However, I just don't think that's where we're trending. I will add, though, that I did call 8 coming back. You do know that. We wrote down our Stranger Things predictions, and I did call 8 coming back. And I'm also on the side of everyone hates the Lost Sister episode. I really didn't. Again, like I said, I just enjoyed Stranger Things for what it was each step along the way. And I was actually glad that Callie came back, because I could see where they would need her, and it will help make sense. I think it will keep the train on the track for where we're headed with how powerful Vecna is and the Mind Flayer. I think they needed that.
Zeke, are you going to be angry if it ends and it was all just a game?
Yeah, the campaign theory.
I'm so angry. I file a lawsuit against the Duffer Brothers, and also if they kill off Steve, oh man. I'm sacrificing their lives, and I'm spawning the real bad.
Maybe that's a good place to go. We can get into some death predictions and stuff like that. And I mine are all very thought out. I have some pretty my predictions, have some I've thought them through. And so whenever
now, the married couple, the couple that got engaged, is not going to. One of them is not making it. They didn't do the engagement and everything to not kill one of them.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you what too is I love some of the character groupings this year. The Will and Robin dynamic has been awesome, and I think Robin and Mike are really just carrying the show right now. I think Mike has come into his own. He's owned that character. His acting has been top notch. I love the Mike and Nancy just really being brother-sister dynamic. Robin, again, she's been great. I think as they broach these subjects of sexuality, which is important to kind of go into that prepared. I think it's pretty unique, or at least clever, that they've got Robin paired up with Will to offer him that, because we have to remember it's not 2025 in Stranger Things, it's 1986.
Right.
As a young gay boy, that comes with a whole different set of challenges. So it's important for people to kind of remember that. So for Will to have a Robin right now, I think is huge. I don't think that Mike and Will end up together. Mike doesn't have any interest in that. The Steve and Jonathan dynamic right now is really goofy and strange. I'm not a fan of that. Them like fighting for Nancy's attention. I'm not really into that. I think they'll end up together, Jonathan and Nancy. Gotta talk, but got the words together.
They let go of the Steve and Jonathan fight over Nancy a little while ago, and
a season ago. Yeah, we were kind of over that, it seems, and now here we are again. Nancy's the most unlikable person I've ever met in my life. Now, obviously, there's some hyperbole there. I hate Nancy's guts in season 5. I don't like her. I don't like her character. I don't think that she's justified in the way she's done. For instance, and it's spoiler alerts here. Hopefully people understand that. And this one's not that big, but there's dialogue between Murray, who I love. Murray and Jonathan are just like walking and talking, and Nancy's turning around telling them to shut up, like she's their second grade substitute teacher or something. Yeah. Like, who are you? Like,
you're not Miss Shogri. You are not Miss Shogri.
Yeah, right. Who do you think you are? It just made her really unlikable in this season. So I'm not a huge fan of that. And then obviously Hopper and Hopper and Eleven are just they're just a great duo. The father-daughter dynamic they have is really great. They tried setting it up as if Hopper was maybe going in to die if it was Vecna behind that steel door, right, which I never thought it was Vecna, and I never thought that he was going to die. I think they tried setting that up. I think us real diehard fans, I don't think we fell for that. The same we didn't fall for. We obviously knew that Henry was Mr. What's It, but there was some, behind the scenes, some photos that released. And so you could kind of tell that was Jamie Campbell and, blurred out or whatever. So I'm sorry, what were you saying, Chuck?
I want to give a quick shout out to my personal favorite character, Delightful Derek.
Yeah, dude, what a goat.
Suck
my fat one. What a goat, brother.
Suck a fat one.
Yeah, suck my fat one.
Zeke, you would make an amazing Derek cosplayer.
Yeah, and he should do that. He was, Delightful Dipshit was really great in this season. I think that I love the Turnbow Trap. Erica is what Erica always is, and she really brought the business, and it was awesome. But yeah, Delightful Derek he's been a lot of fun to watch.
So Zeke, what is it about this show, buddy, that who's the character you relate to most and why? If you could hang out with any character for a day, who would you want to hang out with?
This is hard. Either Joe Keery or Gaten Matarazzo or Fimble Park.
No, I'm not talking the actor. What character from the show?
What character?
Oh.
Who do you relate to the most?
Steve.
You'd want to hang out with Steve?
Yes, Steve.
Okay, can we talk about them driving into the Upside Down? That was such a nail biter scene, because I'm like, there is no margin for it. You're either getting in.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not a baby bop. It's not.
You're all gonna be folded into a wall. Imagine if that's where everyone died. Yeah. That car just
didn't work. Yeah, way to go. What a crazy scene, and what they've done with the Upside Down and how they've really expanded on that world has been really awesome to see. There's been some, and that's the thing about season 5 so far, is that the good is great, right? But there's so much mediocrity in it for me, and with the stakes are so high with Stranger Things that mediocrity is bad.
I have to say, so the biggest line from. The biggest negative for me is Noah Schnapp can't act. I'm sorry. The kid can't emote.
He can't act. So, and that's a great point that you just brought up. And I wanted to mention this, is that this year he's actually getting away with his bad acting because he's not acting. He's
Right.
just being him right now.
Right.
He really is. So he's lucked out that this is really elementary level stuff for him. I think that Finn has really come into his own. I am not a Lucas fan. Zeke knows that. If we want to talk about people that I wouldn't mind that died, go ahead and kill Lucas right now. Can't stand him.
The
Okay.
biggest hair downgrade in history.
Yeah. Can't stand him. It's just that I think he's done terrible acting. I can pick out exact scenes that he just drives me nuts in. Sadie, I'm sorry, Max. I'm not a fan of Max. Never have been since she was introduced to the show. Could care less. Pardon me if she died. Now I don't want Steve to die. Steve, go over there for a minute, okay, bud? I need to move over. I wouldn't mind if Steve died. I don't want him to die because I love him.
Yeah.
However, it would make sense to me if he did. I think he may be the one that they need to kill. He don't have a lot of family on the outside. He's not engaged. He's not in a relationship right now. You know, if someone has to go, it might end up being him. Like I said, I would like it to be Max or Lucas, but it might end up being Steve. Yeah, I don't think it can be 11. It can't be 11.
Right.
And I'll tell you why real quick, and I'll get through this quick. So Hopper already lost a daughter. So
Yes.
I don't think they're going to take it from him again.
That'd be terrible.
They're not going to kill Hopper because they already tried to. They're not going to kill Hopper again. They're not going to kill Will because Will's already been kind of killed and gone. So are they going to do that twice? Like, it just seems lazy to me. So I don't think they're going to do that. Joyce, I don't think they're going to take Joyce from Hopper. I think that they want to limit how much more trauma 11 and Hopper go through. So the people that are directly connected to them, I don't think are going to die. I think those people are actually the safest for me. But I could see a world where a Nancy or a Jonathan or a Steve do die in this season.
So I think that Dustin is all but a goner because of the way D&D games work. I think Dustin is too broken at this point. I think he's
on the table. And that may be why they're setting him up the way they are. And that would actually make sense, right? And there's some real depth to that, right? And I'm trying not to be shallow with my my breakdown of some of this stuff. And you and I, we understand acting a little bit as well too, right? So we understand the buildup and having some depth. And
oh wait, Mike,
and
you don't know. I joined the local theater troupe here. I'm the lead role in our next show, Dirk Gently's Detective Agency.
Of course you are.
Like, I have my scripts right here.
Of course you are. And so it would actually make sense if that was a buildup and Dustin if they were to take Dustin, and I could deal with that. I think that would be fulfilling. But I also think that the Duffers have done something really unique here. I don't think they have to necessarily kill anyone major. I think they can get away with not killing anyone major and everyone being okay with it. I don't think that they're in a position where they have to do it. I don't think the show's dependent on it. So
I honestly think I think Will has to go. I think that Will has been built up to this, and I see it being one of those things where
like a Harry Potter kind of feel, right?
But and a very much like the power's too much for him, and it like melts him down like aneurysm. You know what I mean?
So I mean, I can see that too. Yes, I can see that. And it wouldn't bother me, and I could deal with it. What would bother me is if this all is just a D&D campaign. So go ahead and kill everyone before they do that.
What would you do if that's the ending? If everybody dies and then it's revealed that it's the campaign, that's a very real possibility.
Well, they're very clever, the Duffers are, right? And so the Easter eggs that they drop, these are real things, and they're really good at the buildup. And you're not realizing that in episode 2, season 3, they did or said something that's going to come and rear its head here, or that was just a buildup. And it's like, for instance, Mr. Clark goated, talking about wormholes in the class, right? Like maybe there's something behind that as we get into more like the Dimension X side of what is the upside down, or how do we get rid of the upside down, right? Like something like that will inevitably come to light, I think. So,
Zeke, what are you hoping happens when this show ends? Like, who do you not want to see die? Who do you want to see die?
Oh, man.
Like, there's going to be a Dobby. There's going to be a Dobby, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Lucas, I want them gone. Gone. Just shoot like a fly. And then I don't want to die, but Steve, he does seem like a person that should die, but also I don't want him to die because he's funny Steve. And he's like the babysitter. Why am I always the babysitter? And then there's Dustin. He's like a 50-50. I wouldn't really care if he died the way he acts right now.
Right.
But like if like after the at the lab in Hawkins, the teaser trailer, him hugging Steve, I think that brought back the like old Dustin, and after that I would not want him to die.
Yeah.
So, but the people that I really would not care are Max and Lucas.
Yeah. 11's been a little unlikable for me this season too. Just the first episode was hard for me to wrap my mind.
The power training montage was so 80s corny. Like,
it was 80s corny, but I just didn't like her attitude at the end, like run it again. Like these people are so like let it go, man. Like can we be kind? Can someone smile in this season? Like it's been a lot to deal with. Man, I hate Nancy. I don't know if I got that out yet, but boy, do I hate Nancy in this season. The demo back on her mom, though, was awesome. I loved some of the demo scenes. How about the callback to Home Alone when they're going through the turbo trap and they're setting that house up? I mean, it was awesome, you know.
So here's my big question. How much did you two scream when Will started lifting the Demigorgons?
Oh, we went crazy. I mean, imagine us. We sat, first of all, making it through that day was a nightmare. I thought it was coming out at 5. It was 8, right? We're over here smashing nachos and chicken wings. Like, I couldn't even sit, okay? So we binge watched all episodes. I don't think I sat down for more than 5 minutes the whole time. When he put, oh boy, we were losing our SHIT. We had, yeah, I mean, it was everything we wanted. And that's what I mean about the peaks and valleys of this season has been like, man, that was great, but like some of this other stuff has sucked. And there wasn't a whole lot of suck on any of the other seasons, and it's been hard for me to just kind of come to terms with that. And so overall, season 5 so far, it's got like a 7 from me. And you got to remember, Zeke, how often do I watch Stranger Things? When I tell you this, Chuck, for 3 years, I watch Stranger Things every single day. Every single day I watch it. I watch Stranger Things in the afternoon, and I fall asleep watching The Office every single night. Okay? And so a 7 is might as well be a 0 for me right now. It's hard to give that score, but that's where I'm at.
Zeke?
And but I have high hopes for the finale. I think they're gonna deliver.
It's gonna be really
Here's the thing. They have the failure of Game of Thrones. Yes. And how much of a letdown that was. And I don't think that you can, if they give you guys a big letdown, they're going to remove themselves from the talk of greatest TV shows ever.
Yes, they would. But man, when Vecna was coming through that portal, brother, that was great.
And then the bullets, like, not even affecting.
Yeah, I mean, what a scene. I mean, unbelievable.
And then the crazies, they absolutely demolished that soldier.
Yeah.
He was like,
oh, that kill was insane, dude.
And like the cheek.
They did an interview like, yeah, we're not trying to do anything too gory as they ripped this soldier's life out through his freaking skull and
just folded the Demigorgons like they were paper clips.
It was great. What a great way to kill him. And like Murray is somebody that I would consider like he's got a lot of depth to his acting. So like Quentin Tarantino, his roles, they're very you have to be able to act like really deep character acting for a Tarantino film and lots of script and lots of buildup. And you have to be able to get into a 6-minute soliloquy to answer one question in the Tarantino script, because there's just so many layers to it. And Murray is kind of the character in Stranger Things that actually has a lot of depth and a little bit of culture, and he's really witty and he's a little bit out there. But this season, they have fallen short on some of his script. I think they've sold him short on a little bit of his character and who he's trying to be, Mr. Santa Murray right now. I think he's come through and done great as he does because he is a consummate professional and, he's acting his socks off. But I think they've kind of let me down a little bit on the role that I was hoping to get out of Murray this season. But again, I think we're really in store for some big surprises. I think we haven't scratched the surface of what's to come. I can't
guys,
wait.
We got about 2 minutes left here. Do you guys want to keep going? I can open up another recording session, or do you guys want to stop? It's totally up to you.
You call it, brother.
Dude, let's do another one.
We can go from this, and Zeke, want to switch to Marvel?
Dude, let's do it. Let's do another one.
You and Chuck, you and Jack, keep it going, Chuck.
All right,
Let's
so
open
I'm gonna
another
wrap
one
this one. I'm gonna wrap this one up
Yeah.
and end the meeting, and then I'll send
Yeah.
you an invite for the new one. So here we go, guys, and ready, just so I know for when I'm editing. And awesome, guys. So this has been part 1 of our Stranger Things special. Head on over to part 2, where we're gonna keep talking Stranger Things, throw in some Marvel. It's gonna be real fun. So for this part 1 of Geek versus Nerd, I've been Chuck Keywatts.
Mike Connors.
Zeke Connors.
And we'll see you guys over in part 2.
See you guys.